Hi everyone, you're welcome back to this channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you how to make a simple wrap gown or dress. So, trust you're going to enjoy this tutorial. All you need to do is just to take your time and watch like I do say. Thank you. So, let's get started. Now, what you'll be needing as your measurement for this for a wrap gown are you need your full length of the gown, then the length of the half cut, because the half cut first before the top. It actually depends on you anyway. So you need your half cut length, then you need your bust circumference, you need your waist circumference, you need your shoulder line, shoulder measurement, you need your sleeve length, and of course the round sleeve measurement. So those are the things you'll be needing, those are the measurements you'll be needing for this tutorial. All right, so right now let's get started. Now, as you can see right here, I have my fabric here. This fabric is less than 2 yards. So the first thing I will be doing, although you are to make, like, if you want to make a complete, that is the gown, you are to have about 4 yards. But I will be working with the half cut first, and that is why I've cut it out. I have about 2 yards here. So like I said, I will be working with the half cut first. Now I have the fabric right here. So to determine the width of your fabric, it actually depends on the biggest part of the top, on the half cut first. Now, between the waist and the bust, which one is bigger is the one you are going to consider. Like in this case, the bust is bigger than the waist. The bust is 35 inches, while the waist is 26 inches. So, of course, I will be picking the biggest one, which is 35 inches. So, that 35 inches divided by 4, it gives me 8 3/4 inches. So, I will be adding like 3 or 3.5 inches to it. So, that makes it the measurement, the width measurement for the back cut. Now, you know it's a wrap one, so for the front cut, it won't be the same width for the back. So that of the front will be bigger than that of the back. Now, that of the front, I will be adding 1/4 of my waist to whatever I have as the back width. So that is that. So right now we are going to start. Okay. So as you can see right here, I've folded the fabric is in 4 pieces, is on fold with 4 pieces. Can you see? So this one is the back piece, while this one here is the the front piece. Like I said the other time, I said the front piece will be longer than that of the back piece because it's a wrap top. So right now, and I said 1/4 of your bust plus 3 inches or 3.5 inches will be the width of the back piece. Okay, and here is it. The bust circumference of this is 35 inches. 35 divided by 4 will give me 8.75. I added like 3 inches extra to it, and that is why I'm having about like 12 inches right here. Now the extra one here is 1/4 of the waist circumference for this, and this is going to be the overlap for the wrap, and I have it 26 divided by 4 gives me 6.5. Can you see? So that is why you can see that this place is longer than this one. So I will be cutting both the front piece and the back piece, working on both the front and the back piece at the same time, and that is why it's being folded like this. Okay, so right now we are going to start. So the first thing I will be doing right now is just to go ahead and draw or mark my reference line. So I will start by marking my 0 line. So here I'm going to come down by 1 inch, 1 inch. So this 1 inch is going to serve, so I will connect these lines, these breaking lines together, and this line is going to serve as my 0 line. It is on this 0 line I'm going to impute my shoulder line and of course my neck line, neck width. So right now we just go ahead like I'm doing right now and then connect these breaking lines together. So after connecting these lines together, I can now go ahead to measure or to mark my what? My my bust line. So you can see where I place my measuring tape. So I will go ahead and mark my bust line. The bust line for this is 10 inches. So I mark it right here. I extend it here and I mark the same thing. 10 inches. Now, the full length for this top is 14 inches. 14 inches, I'm going to add 1 inch to it or half an inch. Okay, let me add, is either you add 1 inch or half an inch. So I will be making it, let me just make it 14.5. So which means I'm adding just half an inch to it. And that half an inch is going to serve as my hem allowance or what I will be using to join the down part of this dress. So right now we just straight ahead and connect these lines together. So I'm just trying to see that I don't alter the lines. That's why you can just see me trying to make sure that the lines is not being altered. So right now I'm going to connect straight. Can you see? So I've connected the lines. This is the bust line and this is the half cut line. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, we just go ahead and cut from this side, which means I'm going to keep this other one here. So having connected the lines together, so I will just go ahead and start with the neck width. So the neck width for this top, I will be making use of 3 inches. So it actually depends on how wide you want yours to be. But in this case, I will be making use of 3 inches. You could make use of 3.5, but I'm making for a teenager. So 3 inches is okay. So the depth for the back, I will be using 1.5 inch, which is going to be the depth of the back. So I will just go and connect. I will create a slight curve to meet the neckline width, like I'm doing right now. Can you see? This is the back depth. So for the front, I'm going to place it on this same zero line. So I'm going to mark 6 inches because I wouldn't want it to be too low. So I'm marking 2 inches from there. Okay. So right now, what I'm going to do, I will just keep this aside. So I will go ahead to this same point here. I will mark the shoulder line. Now the half of the shoulder line for this is 7.5, which means the full shoulder length is 15 inches. That is 15 inches divided by 2 gives me 7.5. So from that point, I'm going to come down by 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch. So I'm coming down by 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So I will just simply connect this point to the neck width here. So sorry for this interruption. I've gone a bit far only to discover that this side wasn't recording. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat back so after connecting from the shoulder slope to the neckline width, so from that shoulder slope, I came down by 7 inches. So 7 inches here is my the armhole length. So after that, I went ahead to measure the bust circumference divided by 4, which gives me 8.75. I mark it here and I added 1.5 inches as my seam allowance. So that is why it's been extended to this point. So after that, I now went over to the armhole line, which was 7 inches, I look for the half, the half of 7 inches, which is 3.5, and here is it. So I make a mark right there. So from that point I came in by half an inch. I said you could come in by 3/4 of an inch, but in this case I came in by just half an inch. Then from that half an inch I connected straight to this shoulder slope, and from this down part I create a curve right here, and this is what I actually did, what went on when I discovered that it wasn't recording. I hope you are clear with this. So right now we are going to move on. So having created this curve, and this is the front armhole curve. So I will go ahead and create that of the back armhole curve. So from that very point, from that half an inch, half of the shoulder, the armhole length, which is 7 inches, half of it, which is 3.5, I will create another curve, and this another curve is going to serve as the back armhole curve. Okay, so I will create another curve to meet this. Okay, can you see? So like I said, this is the back armhole curve, while this one is for the front armhole curve. So the next thing I'm going to do right now on this bust line, so I will just go ahead. What I'm going to do right now, actually what I have on this chest line is what I will be transferring here. So let me just go ahead and measure what I have right here. So I have 10.75 inches. So I will just go ahead straight and mark it here on the bust line. So 10.75 inch, including the seam allowance. I've added the seam allowance of 1.5. So right now I will just go ahead and mark my dart line. And the dart line, I'm going to consider the bust span. Bust span simply means a distance from one nipple to the other, and in this case is 7. So half of 7 will give me 3.5. So I'm going to mark it right here, 3.5. Okay, so I will also go to the half cut, which is the waistline. I will also mark the same thing, 3.5. Okay, so you can see that I'm not adding anything to that 3.5. So from this point I'm going to go ahead and mark the circumference of the waist, and I have the waist circumference for this to be 26 inches divided by 4, which give me 6.5. Here is the 6.5. Okay, now even before I go to mark the circumference, I will also, let me quickly conclude what I have on the dart. So after marking the dart, this is the dart length. Okay, from this bust line I'm going to come down by just 1 inch. So I'm coming down by 1 inch first on this bust line, and here is it. So I will go to this dart leg. I will mark half an inch both on my left hand side, on both sides, half an inch, also here half an inch. Half an inch, half an inch. So I'm going to connect down to this, up to this place. So I will just connect. So I connect. Also here I will also do likewise. I connect. Can you see? So I've connected, but that of the back, okay, this is going to be for since this is for the back, this is for the back, so it means I'm going to extend it to, I'm going to come up by 1 inch on the bust line, because this is for the back. So I'm going to come up, instead of coming down from that bust line. That one is for the front piece. Sorry for this. So I will come up by 1 inch or 1.5 inch. So you could come up by 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Let me stop at 1.5 inch. So this automatically is going to be for the back, while the first one which I drawn is for the front. So on the same dark leg, okay, on the same dark leg, okay, so since this is for the back, I'm repeating it again, since this is for the back, okay, that's why you have to come beyond the bust line by either 1 inch or 1.5 inch, okay. But if it is for the front, you are to come down by 1 inch from the bust line. I hope that is very clear. Sorry for that. So right now I can now go ahead and impute my circumference, the waist circumference. You know, the waist circumference I say is 26 inches divided by 4 gives me 6.5, and I have it right here. So I'm going to consider, because I will remove this at the end of the day, so I'm going to replace it back. Half plus half gives me 1 inch, so I'm going to replace it back here. Then plus 1.5 allowance, seam allowance, so I'm going to add it to this. Okay, so right now we just go ahead and connect this to this, okay, and it's exactly what I have here that I have here, okay. So I will just connect this to this. I hope you are clear with this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go back to the front one, the front piece. You remember I came down by 6 inches for the front because it's going to be a V-neck. Can you see 6 inches? So from this width, I'm going to connect straight to that point. Then I come to this side. Now this side is going to have a belt. Otherwise, I would have connected straight to this down part. But because it's going to have a belt, so I'm going to come up here by 2 inches. Okay, now coming up by 2 inches here simply means that the belt width is going to be 1.5. You remember I'm using 0.5, half an inch to hold it to the down part, which will be what? I will be left with 1.5. It means the width of the belt I'm using is just 1.5, not 2 inches. So right now I will just go ahead and connect, okay, like this, then to this point here. Then I will just connect like this. I hope you are clear with this. So I will make sure that these bends rhyme with this. So right now, the next thing I'm going to do is just to cut it out. I hope you are clear at this point. In case you have any question, please don't hesitate to drop your question. And if you have found anything helpful in this at this juncture, please click on the subscribe button if you are yet to do so, and you click on the like button as well. So right now, like I said, I'm going to cut it out. So you can start anywhere. I can start from the down part. I can start from the upper part. So I will go ahead and cut out the back first. And that is why I'm cutting out the back armhole first. So as you can see this side, I will have to extend this side to like 0.5, which is going to be the allowance on the shoulder. So instead of cutting from this line, is going to be 0.5 upward for the shoulder seam. Okay. So I'm done with that of the back, so I can now remove that of the back. Okay, so what I have here, I will just simply transfer it. So I will just transfer to this side here. So I will go ahead and cut. Then for the armhole, I will just go in. So I also have reshaped the armhole for this front piece, and that is why you can see that here is a bit deeper than that of the front back. So the next thing right now, I'm going to open it. Lest I forget, what I have here is 2.5 inches, not 2 inches. So I'll be using like 0.5 to I will be using like 0.5 right here. By the time I use my lining or facing to turn it inside, then 0.5 down here, which I'm going to use to attach it to the down part. So I will be left with 1.5 inch for the belt width. So the next thing I'm going to do, now what I've just marked here, it shows that this is the wrong side. Also, here is the wrong side. So I'm going to open it. So it's going to be like this. So this is how it's going to overlay. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to cut the facing. So what I'm going to do is just to place it exactly on the facing. I will be using this facing. Okay, so I will place it, this material or the main fabric, on the facing, and I will trace it using the what I have on the material or the fabric. So as you can see right here, I've went ahead to cut the facing. Here is it for the, this is for the front piece. Okay, and here is for the back. You can see the back does not have a zipper, and that is why there's not, is not opening. So, and I've cut the interface also. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to keep this aside while I cut the down part of this gown. So in cutting the down part of this flare, I won't want it to be 360 degrees. So it's not going to be 360 degrees. So it's not going to be all that full. So right now I'm going to be cutting two pieces, okay, just to manage the fabric. So right now, from one end here, from this tip here, I will just hold this tip like I'm doing. Just watch. So I'm going to fold it diagonally like I'm doing. So if it's going to be 360-degree flare, it means this one I'm going to extend it to this place. But because I don't want it like that, so it's a flare, but it's not too full. It's not going to be 360. So this is where I will be stopping. So I'm going to stop somewhere here. So right now I'm going to work on the waist circumference. Now the waist circumference I said is 26 inches, and 26 inches, because it's going to be two pieces I will cut here, divided by 4. So 26 divided by 4 will give me 6.58 inches. So I'm going to add 0.5 inches to it. That will give me a total of 7 inches. So watch what I'm going to do. So I'm going to place it like this in such a way that it is where it gets to give me that 7. That's where I'm going to stop. If I place it upper part here, you see it is not up to that point. So I have to shift it downward till I get to that particular point where it gives me 7. Okay, so I have it somewhere here. Now I have it here. So at this point I'm going to mark it. Okay, I'm going to mark it straight. This is just a simple way of getting your flare or the waist circumference of your flare. Just mark it like that. So by the time you mark it like this, okay, this is what I have. Let me make it visible so that you can see it clearly. So you discover that at the end of the day, by the time I remeasure it, I will have exactly what I want. You can see that's 7. Okay, so right now I will just go and trace it to that place. So I'm going to cut from this point, but before I do that, I will go ahead and mark the length of the gown. Okay, so the total length of this gown is 40 inches, and you remember I remove the half cut, which is 14 inches. So when I subtract 14 inches from 40, it will give me 26 inches. Okay, so 26 inches plus 1 inch for the hem allowance, I will be having the total of 27 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the 27 inches, which I have it right here. Okay, so in considering the length, I may try to reduce it by 1 just because of this fabric. So I may decide to make it that 26. Okay, so that at the end of the day I will be having the total of 39 inches for the full length. So I will go ahead and mark that 26 instead of 27. Okay, just because I'm trying to consider the fabric. So but if you have excess fabric, you can go ahead and mark exactly what you have. So with that 1 inch which I've deducted, it shouldn't be obvious for the length. So right now I'm going to connect like this. Okay, I will just go ahead and connect like this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do right now, this is for the back. So right now I'm going to proceed. You can see, so as you can see right here, I've placed the back flare on the another fabric, okay, to cut out the front flare. And you remember the front flare has to be bigger or longer in terms of the width than that of the back. So you remember when I was cutting that of the top, you know, I came out by 6.5 for the front top piece of the top, and the same thing is repeated here. So it has to be extended by that 6.5 inches, and this is it. So and also to the down part 6.5 inches. Okay, and here is it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to trace it, and I cut it out. So I will just go ahead and cut it out. I went ahead to cut the belt. Here is the belt, 2 pieces. Okay, now you cut like 4 inches for the width of the belt. Okay, then the length here, I make mine 27 inches. You can make yours longer than this. So the length of the belt is not fixed. Okay, so it actually depends on how long you want yours to be, but in this case it's just 27 inches for the length. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to the machine and stitch straight like this. But if you want to curve it, you are good to go. Just make sure you just curve it like this. curve it round like this. After that, then you stitch this side like this, then you stitch this side using 0.5 inches and stitch to the down part. Okay, and that is what will be done on the second piece as well. So after stitching the belt, the next thing I'm going to do is to take the front piece. Here is the front piece of the top. So I'm going to lay my facing on it like I'm arranging like so. So what I'm going to do right now, this is the right side. So, and I've placed my facing on it. So I'm going to stitch. Before I stitch, I'm going to, after finishing the belt, I'm going to insert it. This is where the belt seat is. I will insert it from inside. Then I stitch like this, okay? After which I will turn it to like this. So I will be right back. Now, as you can see right here, I've stitched the facing to the main fabric of the two pieces for the front panel. Now I stitch from the upper part, that is from the shoulder here down to the belt side, and I inserted the belt from inside, as you can see right here. So, and that is what I did to the two pieces of the front panel. And I've also stitched that of the back piece. Okay, here is it. Here is it, the neckline of the back panel. So the next thing I'm going to do to this back panel is to notch. I will notch it round so that it will be easy for me to turn it to the right side. So I'm going to notch. So this is how I'm going to go till I complete this neckline. So right now, I haven't notched, as you can see right here. So I'm going to turn it to the right side. So can you see how relaxed it is? So the next thing is just to iron. Now for the front piece, I'm going to turn it like that. Here is it. Okay, and this is the second piece for the front panel. Can you see? So, and this is how it's going to be. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is to take my dart. So I'm going to input the dart on both the front piece and the back piece. So as you can see right here, I've stitched every aspect that needed to be sealed, and I've also I went to seal the down part to the upper part after considering my dart. Here is the dart. So the next thing I'm going, and I also went down the end of the each of the flay. Okay, I fold it in. Can you see? I folded it in and I stitch. Okay, so on both sides, this is the second side. Okay, so the next thing I want you to know is that one of these belts is going to pass through on one of the sides. Okay, it actually depends on whichever side you want to use, but all you need to know is that one of these belts will pass through, and I've created a space of this, the width of this belt. So when I insert it like this, it will just go and pass through the other side like this. Okay, so after that is just to wrap it like I'm doing right now. So I wrap it. So here is it. So can you see? So all I need to do is just to tie it here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fix my sleeve. So here comes the conclusion of this tutorial. Can you see how beautiful this dress is? And I hope you found this tutorial very helpful. This is the sleeve. Okay, I really want to appreciate you for taking your time to watch this video. All you need to do to the down part is just to fold it twice, and that is all. Thank you very much for taking your time once again. And if you have any comments regarding this particular tutorial, feel free to drop your comment in the comment section. And if you have any question bothering you regarding this same tutorial, feel free to drop your question. Thank you very much. If you are here to subscribe this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button below and you hit on the notification bell so that you join this family. Thank you. So till I come your way again, bye for now.